it's been like 14 years that there have been times that I've exercised and I've lifted weights, but like it was mainly like just like working out to get like a little back into shape, and then I'd stop. Or I worked on my strength, which is like with weightlifting, which is like you don't push yourself that much into like the pain territory. What you do is you just trying to get the reps so you get like stronger with time. But it's been 14 years. I haven't gotten in shape. I mean, I've lost weight. I think like, is it 2 times or something like that? A large amount of weight, but I haven't kept it off, and I haven't been under, well, the lowest I got to in the past 14 years was 237 pounds. And I haven't been since I was in my early 20s under 210 pounds. And now I'm diabetic, and even with medication, my A1C numbers, which is like basically my blood sugar, it's so high that I'm really afraid that I'm gonna develop like complications. So I wanted to start today with working out. It's been like about 3 days that I tried to do the diet thing, and it wasn't working out. And I realized that the best teacher that I had with weight loss was pain. Every time we used to talk about like failure and pushing so hard that you can like, you're almost gonna drop the weight, or like pulling so hard or whatever it is that you're doing. But now I think they talk about low repetitions in reserve, which is basically you are so close to not being able to do any more that you only have like the ability to do like 1 or 2 at most, and you might have to drop the weight, or like you might have to stop the exercise, whatever it may be, if you're doing like body weight or whatever. And I've wanted to do calisthenics now. I've wanted to, you know, do bodybuilding where I build up muscle. I know sometimes they're like conflicting goals with building strength, or like doing calisthenics or building muscle. But really, when I have spent this amount of my life not getting to any goals whatsoever and just being obese and not exercising, the only thing that I can do now, which I don't think I've done a repetition to failure or like near failure, low repetitions in reserve for 14 years, even though I've worked out maybe in the past 14 years, like 100 or 200 times total, something like that. Maybe like 100. So yeah, I want you to join me today. I'm gonna see about what I'm gonna do with the editing, because I've never done this. I'm not gonna open the door to this garage that I'm in my house, and I just wanna show you my dungeon. I have like 500 pounds or something like that worth of weights, and I have pretty good dumbbells. I have a kettlebell. I'll show you, maybe I can show you right now, but take a look. I have a pretty decent pull-up station and dip station, and you can do abs like hanging, or sort of using the dip sort of place like there to do the abs. And I even have a treadmill fully functioning, in addition to this weight set that I have. Look, it looks really basic, but if I was serious about myself and about life, I would have been using these things, and now it's time. Okay, so I don't know about the editing, but I'm gonna show you guys this first workout where I'm gonna try to do every set as close to having nothing left in the tank on every single one until the pain is like really, really high and I just can't take it. Okay, and it's been a long time, so I won't be performing as well as someone who's been doing it like for a year or 2 years or way more than that. They've been going like close to failure or low repetitions in reserve. But yeah, I just want you to see this because my health is deteriorating. I'm spending a bunch of money, And I don't like the way my life is going because, you know, all the money is going towards food, and you know, I'm not able to travel, and I just I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like the decisions I'm making. So this is gonna be the first time. So guys, check this out. Let's see. Okay, sorry, there's like a ladder and a bunch of stuff. And the weight I'm gonna be using is 135 pounds, and I'm only gonna be doing bench press. I know you're gonna be like, okay, well, you need to do like incline and decline and like dips and like, you know, pectoral flies and stuff like that. But at this point, I just wanna go to failure. So like the next time I try to stuff my face, like non-stop throughout the day, I at least start remembering the pain I had from the workout. So yeah, just gonna be doing bench press. It's 135 pounds, what I'm using, and in kilograms, I believe that's a little over 61 kilograms. So I know I'm really weak for someone who's like this morning weighed 312 pounds, which I think is around 142 kilograms body weight, but you know, what can I say? I'm also like a little scared of the bench press. I've gone up to, the most I've ever done is like 365 pounds for about 4 reps. I never tested my one rep maximum with the bench press, but that's about as strong as I ever got, was like the 365 pounds times 4 reps in a set without needing a spot or without getting tired or anything like that. But that was when I got up to 363 pounds, which I did on purpose to get really strong, but then I started to develop health complications. Anyways, so let me get to it. I'll be back there. Oh shit, oh no. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so I hope I counted right. I think that was 25 reps. I didn't get that close. I didn't get too close to failure because I'm like, I have this paranoia about the barbell falling on my chest, even though I know it's like 135 pounds and I can tip it over. But it's never happened to me, luckily, that the barbell has ever fallen on my chest and I can't lift it off. But that's why I'm not doing like 225 right now, which is like, I think around 100 kilograms, because I'm like kind of weak. So, and I want to be like really comfortable with the bench press before, with the weight on the bench press before, before I do like a heavier weight. So yeah, but instead of focusing on strength, I was getting to the point, that last repetition, that 25th repetition, I sort of felt that feeling with, if you're aware of what the bench press is like, you know, if you push yourself sort of, because in the past, like a long time ago, when I got into the best shape, meaning not the best physical shape at like running or like jumping or like long distance jogging, but the best like appearance that I ever got was basically at the end of university when I had graduated. And at that time, I would only do dumbbell presses on a bench, like, you know, where you're like lying down and then you press the dumbbell, because I could drop the dumbbells. But with bench press, whenever it starts to get harder and harder, when your muscles start, you know, giving up a little bit and losing ability, it feels like it's gonna like fall on you. So I stopped there, which was the 25th repetition. Okay, so yeah, I'll probably edit this because it's gonna be a long video anyways, but I'm gonna try to do as many sets as possible where like I'm in that range of like pain, and it wasn't too much, but yeah, it's so I should mention one thing. I don't want to teach about in any way or any shape or form. I don't want to be like a teacher about the body just yet, if ever. But I do want to mention, so building strength, you know, usually you don't go into the pain territory and you take like longer breaks. Building muscle, you go into the pain territory much more on each set and you take shorter breaks. So I'm getting a little, I'm having trouble transitioning because I'm taking kind of like a long break right now while I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, okay. Let me get in another set and I'm gonna be terrified. Okay. Okay. All right, just 14 for the second set. I could have pushed a little more, but one of the reasons I stopped was I started relying on momentum with the actual press. With the bench press, I remember a lot of football players in like high school when I would see them bench press. I didn't play football or anything like that, but I played basketball and rugby. And they would sort of bounce the barbell off their chest and it becomes a little easier, you know? But on the 13th repetition, when I was going a little more in control downwards, I'm not saying it was like really in control, but a little more in control, it got a little hard. So the 14th rep, I just kind of bounced it off my chest and it got like a good amount easier, but I was like, I don't want to risk it and keep going. But you know, a little bit of pain. I can definitely feel, let me show you guys. I can definitely feel my triceps and my pecs getting, you know, a little bitty pump. I don't know about the shoulders so much. Maybe I feel them. I think I feel them a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, let me see. All right, now I think is when the editing is gonna begin. I won't be taking too long of breaks, but I'll pause the clips and edit because I don't want you guys to have to sit through like an hour, if I even make it to an hour, because it's my first workout in a really long time. But an hour, like however long it is, of me going into the house to drink water and coming back out, and then doing the bench press. So I'll pause and I'll add the clips together and you can take a look. All right, so I'm back for the third set. I'm not taking those like monster 5-minute to like 7 or 8 minute rest that I used to take between between sets when I was trying to build up my strength so I could get, you know, reps in without feeling too much pain. I think it's been under 2 minutes so far. I just went inside, drank water. You know, I didn't like run, but I didn't go slow either. And now I'm back out here. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm still breathing a little heavily. Not too much, but a little bit. Yeah, and I'm gonna start set 3 now. Okay, let's get to it. Yeah, buddy! With 135 pounds, right? Okay. Okay, set 3, got those 13 reps in. You know, felt it a little bit. Like I said, I'm weary with the bench press of pushing too hard because I'm afraid, I'm just afraid it's gonna fall on me and I don't want that disaster to happen to me. But yeah, so that was set 3. Now let's fast forward to set 4. All right, before I do set 4, I wanted to mention 2 things. I have like really bad memory. I hope I didn't forget the second thing. If you notice, I didn't put the clips on the barbell to hold the weights in place. With the bench press, or I think with like a lot of weights, you should really work on stabilizing it to begin with and like your balance, because it's just gonna help you with building your body. But like your strength and your, you know, the different stabilizing muscles and everything like that. But also, especially with the bench press, it's a good idea to not even put on those clips, because if something happens and it falls on you and you can't lift it off, if you tip it to the side, if there are clips on it, the weight won't come off. But if you tip it to the side and there are no clips on it, one side the weight will fall off, the plate will come off, and then you'll like fall on the other side. As far as I've seen, it hasn't happened to me, but as far as I've always seen on like YouTube and different people in person. So yeah, no clips. What was another thing I was gonna say? See, I have a bad memory. I'll have to tell you when I remember again. But yeah, okay. Set 4, let me see. Oh, what I was gonna say before I do set 4. So I'm not doing it now because my body's really weak. But in college, I found out, or I started experimenting with, and I got like really good reactions at the end of college and like slightly after to how my body looked. So I would look into this if you haven't heard about this and you're watching the video. If you're watching this far into the video to begin with. But if you flex the muscle you're working out, like if it's your chest and like triceps for like 45 seconds to like a minute in between the sets, I don't know what it is, but your muscles get like really full and really hard with time more so in my experience than if you just do the repetitions and go like to low repetitions in reserve. So I guess you're, adding an extra tightness and fullness to it by getting like a better pump. But, of course I don't have like that much experience with bodybuilding. So I guess take it with a grain of salt, but also don't take it with a grain of salt. Try it out. Okay, set 4. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, wasn't that hard, 10 reps, but got a little scary again, so I stopped. Yeah, so, what can I say? This is my first workout doing sets to like low repetitions in reserve. And I guess I must not be pushing myself that much. I mean, it takes a little while to get used to things with the body, and working out. But I don't feel that much of a pump and that much pain, but I haven't, like I said, so it's been like 14 years or so since I've done, maybe more than 14 years, maybe like 15 years since I've done like almost exclusively or like exclusively sets to low repetitions in reserve, going towards failure as close as I can get. And I used to push like a lot, or like pull a lot and strain a lot on those last like 1 or 2 reps. But I mean, I don't think I'm doing too good now, but it'll pick up. So that was 4 sets. Let's see, for set 5, I'm gonna try to get a little deeper into struggling with the weight. I can't promise it though, because I get scared with the bench, but let's get to it again. Okay. Yeah, so I still wasn't in like real pain territory, but the repetition started coming down because I started losing ability to like actually press the movement, push the bar. Yeah. So talking a little bit more about my diabetes, in case you're interested in knowing. So if you know the A1C, the blood test they give you at the doctor, not the one that you prick your finger and then put the paper and test it, but the A1C, as far as I know, tests about 90 days of your, blood sugar. I don't know if it like averages it or whatever it is, but the lowest. So I've been diabetic since if I remember correctly, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic a little before this time, but in February 2024, I think I was diagnosed as diabetic, if I remember correctly. Okay, so my A1C, I don't remember what it was, but it was like really high, like really, really high, even compared to now. Then through, portion control and dieting, I went from about 363 pounds to a low of 261, I think it was, at the very, very lowest, before I gained weight back as my mother, who passed away from cancer, as she got more and more sick. And I guess it's an excuse, but I was like coping with her loss, that, it becomes very obvious with them that pass away from cancer. You can, it's really tough. But I was coping with her loss slowly as it was happening, as it was unfolding, by eating a lot. So I went back up to around, I think the highest I've gotten is 323 pounds, but I haven't passed 323. And right now, my 2026 New Year's resolution was to get to 205 pounds, but it's already June, and basically the middle of June right now in 2026, and I'm 312 pounds, this morning. So yeah, so my A1C, the lowest it got to was a 5.9, I believe, which is pretty good for someone who's diabetic. But that 5.9 was with Ozempic and metformin. Oh, and by the way, I'll make another video in the future, but I never lost more than 10 pounds of about 100 pounds that I lost on Ozempic. And while I was taking Ozempic, I regained from 361 pounds to as high as 323 pounds. Yeah, so it's all about calorie deficit, what you put in versus what your body burns. And yeah, or what you end up burning added to by exercise and things like that. So don't be fooled that Ozempic, and I'll talk about it later, is for diabetes, it's really, really good. It really helped a lot. But for weight loss, for me, all it did was make me nauseous, and it suppressed my appetite. If I would give it a percentage, 10%. And it is enough. It is really good, because if you're motivated, it'll help you get over the edge with, controlling your diet really, really well. But as far as I know, it doesn't increase calorie burn or anything like that. It just sort of helps you not want to eat. So yeah, just one thing. But I'll make a video about that in the future once I actually lose the weight. But yeah, I haven't been, I'm in my late 30s now. It's gonna be my birthday soon. I was born in June. So, and then I haven't since my early 20s been under 210 pounds. And, definitely not under, the lowest I got to after college was about 197. And then, I went up a little bit. And then after that, it started going up and up and up and up in terms of my weight. But anyways, let me get to this next set. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is how fat I am and how fat I look, at this moment. So yeah. Yep, really out of shape, and I'm obese, so. Okay, I might have lost count, but I think I did 9 repetitions. And those 9, I probably had, if I had a spotter who knew what they were doing and, would help me out and I wouldn't get scared. Also, I probably had up to 4 maybe 5 or so repetitions left, you know? So that's not what you want to be doing when you want to be going, you know, to low repetitions. You're talking like 3 left, or like 2 or 1, or like, I mean, nothing if you can get there. But yeah, so I'll get better at it though, you know. Another thing I should add is you really want to, and I'm gonna go back and look at the video for myself, but you really want to write down, at least in your phone, in the notes or something like that, write down the exercise and the total number of reps after every set. That's my recommendation, because with time, in order to make progress, they call it progressive overload, but one of the major ways, it's not the only way, but one of the major ways that you can continue to see progress, and this is whether you're training for like strength purposes or whether you're training to build muscle, when it comes to, you know, like weightlifting, you know, basic bodybuilding type stuff. If you're adding repetitions of like the same weight, or like increasing the weight and then like adding repetitions slowly, like maybe 1 additional repetition a week, or it depends on how much you can push yourself. If you're like a beginner or like advanced, you know, it really depends. But if you're doing like less repetitions and, you know, you're doing the same weight, and, you know, the amount of time you're taking in between sets is the same, and you're feeling like less like tired, like I'm sort of like able to talk pretty well, I'm not like out of breath, that's not a good sign. It's my first workout in a long time, and, you know, sometimes like I'm a little older now and I realize you got to take it slow and build up. You know, sometimes it takes like 2-3 weeks, like a month or 2 months to get a little back into it. But yeah, you want to be adding repetitions if you can, and you want to be adding weight gradually. You don't want to do like ego lifting where you're just like adding like a bunch of weight and like barely moving it. But, oh, what I was going to say, I just remembered. Yeah, got to the point. You want to do a complete range of motion. Like I'm bouncing the barbell off my chest, like a given amount, but I'm going all the way to the top of the bench press, like full extension, and I'm touching the bar on my chest. So that's a good sign. With like pull-ups, for example, I'm not like, I can't do a pull-up until like, when I've lost weight around 280 pounds is when I'm usually able to do a pull-up. But right now I can't, but, you want to be using the same, like range of motion. Like there are people who can pull up like really high and do like muscle ups and stuff. But, if it's to your nose or to your chin, like they call it chin ups, literally touch your chin on the bar and go all the way down, extend all the way down, you know? And with everything, go like the same range of motion, a complete range of motion. It's better because long term, you'll know whether you're making progress or not, because you're doing the lift the same way every time. So when you're adding reps or you're adding weight, it's not just ego lifting. And it also like depends on how long you're taking in between sets, how frequent your workouts are and things like that. But anyways, let me get back to it. Talking way too much about like basic stuff. Okay. And I really love working out. You might not be able to tell because it's been a long time and I'm weak now and I'm not getting a good pump, but it's such a good feeling. Okay, let me get back to it. This is set 6, if I remember correctly. Okay, so now I'm doing like even more reps and still not getting that deep into having low repetitions in reserve. So that's not a really good sign, but you know, I still, in my triceps, I still feel, you know, tightness, and you know, I can feel my pecs, and you know, my shoulders a little bit too. So, you know, it's pretty good, pretty decent for like a first workout and beginning this, this journey into the weight loss. The main goal I have right now is I have a very, very specific goal. Okay, it's not like subjective, like how does my body look compared to like how does my body look then. It's a very exact goal. And okay, the only way I'll change it is, and I'm gonna achieve it. I know I'll achieve it, even though it's been 14 years. I've said it to so many people and I've never done it. But my goal is to get to exactly, or like approximately 205 pounds. So like almost exactly 93 kilograms body weight. And the only way I'll change that goal is for like health reasons if something happens, or like if I get severe loose skin because I was like really fat. When I've lost weight one time very successfully, more than in 2024 when I went from 363 to 261 or so. When I was like, well, when I was, it's different. 10 years ago, I lost weight one time pretty rapidly. And I went from, what was it? I think a high of around like 320 to a low of 237. Now, you might be like, that's like, you know, approximately, you know, it's even less weight than in 2024, which I lost like what, 102 pounds in 2024. And then that would be like, what, that's like 83 pounds that I lost. But okay, it gets harder and harder to lose weight when you're like lower in body weight because, you know, your body takes fewer calories. It takes more to get rid of fat, you know what I mean? And you start losing muscle more so when you're like, when you've lost like 80 pounds, you have less strength. So it's like harder to maintain the strength that you had at like 320 pounds. So yeah, but that was like pretty successful. And I have like one picture of how I looked around that time. But yeah, I haven't gotten any loose skin. It looks like it. A lot of people are like, you know, because I have like a lot of fat right here and my stomach and my like lower stomach has like a good amount of fat. But yeah, I have a lot of fat on my chest. But when I went to 237 pounds, I did not have loose skin. And I know 237 is a lot different than 205. It's still another, you know, 30 pounds. And the less you get in terms of weight, the larger the chances that you'll have the loose skin start to appear. But, you know, I'm hoping, and depending on my success with, you know, having loose skin or not having loose skin, I'll make a video about that in the future too. You know, like if I'm good at like not having loose skin. And that might be entirely genetic, but I think there are like a lot of things that one can do. Like, for example, like always staying hydrated, drinking water, like a lot of water, not just like hydrated, like specifically water, not other drinks, even if they're like green tea or whatever, just water. And, you know, like not smoking, always getting good amounts of protein. Like every time you eat, like that's one thing I've been really good at. It happens, but like I would say like 90% of the, not 90, 97% of the time I've eaten or had meals. So like, or like 95 times out of 100, I'll have protein, like a decent amount of protein with what I eat. And I feel like it helps to maintain some of the muscle even when you're not working out for like, you know, the better part of like 2 years before you start working out a little bit and then you don't work out again, you know? But there are other things. I'll talk about that later. Let me do another set. Okay, again, I'm gonna try to get to lower repetitions in reserve, having trouble with it, but let's see. It's better than nothing. And I'll count the reps later. Okay, let's get to it. All right. And if you're wondering why I'm changing my hand placement, I don't think it matters that much when you're trying to go to failure. It does, but you know, it's still when you get closer, it works your triceps more, and when you get further out, it works your chest and maybe shoulders a little bit better. Anyways, I didn't do too well on this workout at getting to, close to failure. People don't, I don't think, use failure as much or talk about like the pump as much as like 10, 20 years ago or like more than that. But I didn't get to low repetitions in reserve very well. It's a first workout. I'm gonna count the reps. I'm gonna try to push myself more. I'm able to do more, but yeah, I'm gonna call it for today, and I'm gonna make progress. And I wanted to have you guys join. I just felt like making this video, and yeah, I want you guys to join me. And maybe in a year or two or something like that, I'll get back to this same workout with the same weight, and you can compare what I was like at this time to like in the future, and if I actually changed my life. That's the main thing, if I stopped being obese, and if I got stronger, and if I built my body, and if I dealt with my diabetes. Oh, I didn't mention, but the diabetes, I think I did mention, my A1C has gotten up to like 7.2, even with, so like my insurance company denied the claim for Ozempic, which they're not supposed to, but I was like, look, I'm just gonna lose 100 pounds, and then if I need to, I'll get Ozempic. Because my doctor said, my PCP was like, I'll write the Ozempic for you and I'll get it for you, but I didn't continue to follow up. But I'm taking metformin, and my A1C is like a 7.2, and I want to get it to like under 6 by like weight loss and proper diet before I see my doctor again in November, early November 2026 of this year. So there's that. And I'm gonna keep pushing myself, and you guys, I hope, are gonna hold me accountable. But also, let's see what my body looks like in like a year or two, and if I put my money where my mouth is, and if I'm healthier and I look good, and if I'm able to do the same weight with like a lot more reps, maybe I'll make a video about that. But anyways, let me take my shirt off and show you guys what I look like, because, okay, so this is me with my shirt on, and you can tell I'm like really fat, but I'm obese. I weighed 312 pounds this morning at a little like a hair under 6'2", which I think is what, like 187 centimeters. I think that's how tall I am in the metric system. But let me take my shirt off and you can have a look so you can compare. This is me. So I just wanted to share with you guys, this is what I look like flexing, if I like flex. I hold a lot of fat around my chest, I always have. Take a look, So I'm really weak, I'm really hairy too, so please don't make too much fun. But yeah. So I'm gonna take pictures and do like a picture progress video too. But this is what I was at. And yeah, let's see the transformation and the health and the better life. Anyways, I wish you all the best. And I hope anyone who's going through their own transformation or just making progress or whatever it may be, that you get to your goals. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I really mean it, because it can ruin your life like it has in many ways for me if you don't take care of your body and your mind. Thanks a lot. See you.